As I'm sure many people out there like to do, I love collecting things, particularly collectibles, because what else would you collect? Am I right? Stupid. But I have these display cases that I have particularly to put a lot of my collectibles. Granted, many others are scattered throughout the house on different windowsills or in bookcases or primarily in cardboard boxes because I'm the only one that thinks that they're cool and not eyesores. But the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, the dankest collectibles that I have are sitting in my display cases that are seen in the background of my videos. I got these display cases when I was like 18, and I've just somehow, through moving from house to house in different places, have not broken them, which is amazing to me. They were like 80 bucks a piece at IKEA. They're awesome. And I put the lights in. I've had a couple of different sets of lights in that just fall apart. Enough about the cases. Let's talk about what's inside them. I know that they're kind of hard to see in a lot of my videos, so let's get a little bit close so you can see some of the cool things that I've got going on. I have two cases. One is dedicated to video games, and the shelves have changed over the course of years as my favorite games have maybe changed, or I've downsized some certain things. I used to have a shelf that was all Fallout, and I ended up giving all those away to somebody at my church that is a bigger Fallout fan than I am, because I needed to make room for more Kingdom Hearts stuff and more The Witcher stuff. So I had a big Fallout shelf and a big Nintendo shelf. I have all the Nintendo things. They're just boxed up right now. One case is video games. The other case is movies and television, which are basically my three favorite things outside of music. But, those collections go on the bookcase, like my E-Tid records. So let's start with the video game case, shall we? Top shelf and second to top shelf, nothing but The Witcher. Oh, man. The Witcher is my favorite video game of all time. And that's what this case is all for. Both of my favorite video games ever. My first favorite video game from when I was a kid was the Kingdom Hearts series. And then as I got older and found The Witcher 3, I fell in love, became obsessed, and now that has taken the place of favorite game of all time and game series of all time. So top shelf, we have our Geralt of Rivia statues, my Geralt of Rivia mug. I got that for Christmas from my parents. It's so awesome. I got some Witcher books, my Dandelion figurines, a lot of pop vinyls or Funko Pops, whatever you want to call them. Got Geralt versus the Leshen. And then we have the lion cub of Sintra herself, Ciri, in the Witcher 3 form. I have some things from the Witcher Netflix series, but I'm very much more a fan of the games than I was the series. Not because the series was exceptionally bad. I really loved the first season. Second season was pretty good. Third season, they fucked it. They fucked it all up, and I hate them for it. And I really hate what they did to my man, Henry Cavill. I will never forgive them for that. Even if season 4 somehow turns out to be amazing, I'm not going to forgive them for this. This was a horrible travesty. They could have had something that really took over, especially considering since the giant hole that was left in my heart from season 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones never really fully got filled. I was hoping The Witcher would be able to do that, and they just didn't. So, man, Netflix can suck a bag of dicks. Also, the Witcher comic books that I have back there are really, really good. I don't know if you've looked into the Witcher comic book series, but they're fantastic. As well as my copy of the Witcher Compendium. That thing is awesome. I think I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, but they write this from the perspective of the game characters, like the religion and faith section of the book where they're going through like the religions of the continent are done from Yennefer's perspective. She kind of takes over and starts reading them out. And the whole thing is kind of narrated by Dandelion, and he passes things off to the other characters of the book to explain the different parts of like Witcher lore. It's so well done. Like one of the history sections is done like from the perspective of a dragon because dragons live for so long and have so much insight on the universe. It's amazing. So lots of Witcher figurines, but I also have my like collector's swords and more Witcher books and comic books over in other areas of my room. But that's just what's in the case in the top two shelves. I also have a Geralt and Triss statue on top of each of my display cases that are in these cool golden like frames. And those were on display at mine and my wife's wedding because we had the whole Geralt and Triss thing going on since she's a smoking hot redhead and I'm me. So they were on display and I didn't have room for them in my cases. So I figured I could put them on top in the same frames that we were using at our wedding. So that's just symbolic and a lot of fun. And so yeah, lots of Geralt and Triss figurines, as many as I can get, really. The bottom two shelves of my video game case are full of Kingdom Hearts collectibles. Again, a lot of Funko Pops or pop vinyls, whatever you call them. Some plushies of a Heartless and Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora. My statues of Sora, because he's my dude. Sora's my buddy. We got some Roxas in there. We got some Donald and Goofy in there. We got some Heartless in there. We got some like the dark armored Heartless that you fight in Traverse Town and Kingdom Hearts 1 is in there. Some of those figurines I remember getting from my mom for Easter in my Easter basket when I was in like fourth grade. I don't know if anybody remembers the store Suncoast that was in malls, but they had Kingdom Hearts figures there. There were very few, and those were from that. That store is no longer a thing. These figures I've never seen online anywhere, so I've definitely tried to keep them as near and dear to me as I can. Also got the stuffed Palpoo fruit because you can't be a Kingdom Hearts fan without a Palpoo fruit. You know, you have to intertwine your destiny with Kingdom Hearts by eating the Palpoo fruit and then shoving the other part of the Palpoo fruit into your PlayStation 2 and trying to close the disc tray. That's how that happens. If you didn't know, it's an unspoken rule, but that's how that works. And then my little collection of mini Keyblades that are in there. It's missing one because I turned it into a necklace a long time ago, but there's also Keyblades all over this room. Not to mention, I have Witcher tattoos and Kingdom Hearts tattoos, just because how else are you going to show your dedication and still look like a dork? But yeah, Kingdom Hearts and The Witcher, even though they're opposite ends of the spectrum, are my favorite games. I love them to death, so they deserve spots in my display cases. Turning my attention to my video game and television display case, top shelf, the best movie, my favorite movie, The Dragon Abides, because the dude abides, is my Big Lebowski shelf. Having the soundtrack on vinyl back there in the back, you got the Hot Wheel or the diecast car of the dude's beater, the rosary candles with Walter, Donnie, the dude, and the Jesus. I love them, even though Walter's got cracked in a move once and never, you can't really repair that, but it didn't break so much where you can't still display it, I think. Also, my first like custom grinder that I got says the dude abides, and I have that in there. I've had that thing for like 8 years now, and it's beautiful. It's rusty, but man, it's a classic. Got some coffee mugs. And my wife actually painted, when we first got together, she painted the dude abides on a little mini canvas that's in there, has the date on the back. It says she loves me, and I love that. And I am the dude, and she sees that in me. I've got the dude's cardigan hanging up in my closet right now. I'm sitting on the dude's rug. The dude's rug is right here underneath me. So the Big Lebowski is my favorite. I love it to death. There's a lot more, and there's a lighter with the dude on it, and a coffee mug, all sorts of other little fun trinkets from the Big Lebowski, and a cross stitch. The second shelf is a little bit sparse because all of my figurines that I had that were mine and my brother's from when we were kids are boxed up somewhere in storage that I just don't know where they are, between my house, my brother's house, my dad's house. They're somewhere, and they live out on a farm, so they're probably in some barn somewhere. Were all of the figurines. We had all the figurines from the Lord of the Rings movies. So I wanted to make sure I preserved a shelf in there for Lord of the Rings memorabilia. I've got Aragorn and Arwen's like collectors glass goblets that, they're not necessarily like collectors. I mean, they are to me, but yeah, I got them in a flea market, so it's not that big of a deal. But the three movies in their leather bound type box sets, so those are just classy to have on any shelf anywhere. They look great. And even though they're DVD and not Blu-ray, I don't care because I grew up with those. So I'm keeping them forever, and no one can tell me otherwise. And something that my dad got, I think it was from a Borders or a Barnes and Nobles when I was little, is this snow globe of Merry, Pippin, Sam, and Frodo sitting in that hollowed out under the tree root whenever the Ringwraith first kind of appears when they're leaving the Shire. I love that snow globe. It's survived a long time. As you can tell, it's got some scruff to it and some damage to it, but man, that thing is so rad. So I had to put it somewhere, and there's no better place than right there all lit up in my display case. On the shelf below it is another one of I'm a big fantasy fan, if you can't tell. The Witcher, Lord of the Rings, two of my favorite things of all time. Another one, the Chronicles of Narnia. I was raised on the Chronicles of Narnia. I love the Chronicles of Narnia. I was going to get my tattoo sleeve to be the Chronicles of Narnia until I changed my mind to The Witcher. But there you have like the classic series of the books. I've got Lucy's dagger that's in there. It's a replica. Back here behind my drums, you'll see Peter's sword and shield that are again replicas. And then I have a hand-done map of Narnia that's framed over here on top of some other shelves that I have. They're all just gorgeous. Chronicles of Narnia is a beautiful, fantastic young adult novel series. And if you haven't read it, I get it's not for everybody, but I grew up on it and I think it's badass. I love it. It's super fun. And my children are being raised on it right now. Our son he's in third grade and he's reading The Last Battle. He loves it. And it's really amazing that he's able to keep up with the old English in that. And I have to help him get through it, but he's having a great time with it. So just fantastic book series. The movies weren't even bad. I really enjoyed them. And I think Greta Gerwig, the lady who did the Barbie movie, which I don't know if that's a good selling point or not, She's actually working on a release of a new a Narnia movie, so I'm really excited to see what comes from that, and I really hope they don't fuck it up. They could fuck it up so easy, and I really hope that they don't. Please, please, Aslan, don't let them fuck it up. And then lastly, on that bottom shelf of that display case is my dude, my favorite superhero of all time, if you can even consider him a superhero, but I totally do, is Gambit from the X-Men. He's my dude, and I've loved him since I was a little kid playing the Super Nintendo game where you could even play as him. That one X-Men game, I can't remember what it's called, but that's what got me into doing card magic and cardistry when I was like in middle school. And I still love doing stuff with cards. Cards are amazing. I have a huge collection of decks of cards from all sorts of different places. A lot of Theory 11 decks too. They're the best. Gambit's my guy. So I got some comic books from them. I got some graphic novels of Gambit. My brother got me a custom art piece done from one of his tattoo artist friends of Gambit. Got a little Gambit figurine back there. And then some cards because, you know, you can't have Gambit without cards and a really thick Cajun Louisiana bayou accent, man. You don't mess with that man's beignets. Don't you dare. He'll get you. I don't know if you watch X-Men 97 on Disney Plus, but it's fantastic. I watched that on our honeymoon because I get up earlier than my wife, and I don't know what to do with myself until she's awake, especially on our honeymoon. So I didn't have the kids to take care of. So I would just sit there and get high and watch X-Men 97, and it was a great time to be had. I don't know if anybody shows any interest in this video. I just wanted to talk about some of the things that I have because like I have them. Why not talk about them? But I have a lot of other collectibles and collections of things that I have not mentioned in this video. So if you are interested in any of that, just let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to do another video talking about the other things that I have that I like to collect or my video game collections and video game preferences and other movies that I love and TV shows and stuff like that. So if that's your vibe, let me know and I'd love to get to talk about it. Or maybe you have collections you want to share with me or talk to me about. Please, I'd love that. My Discord section is a great place to post about that kind of stuff so we can engage about it. So if you're interested in that, Linktree is in the description. You'll see the different categories of different places and know where to post stuff. It's pretty well laid out, I like to think. But yeah, thanks for taking the time to watch my video and learn about some of the things that I like and bring me joy and have collected over the years. And I look forward to hearing what you think or if you have anything you want to share with me. So yeah, do me a favor though. If you did enjoy this video, hit the thumb up button and subscribe. It helps me get it out there further and helps people see it. So yeah, thanks so much. Take good care of yourself and happy blazing. Dragon Abides.